Hey there, it's George Ira Carroll, and welcome to this video. I wanted to share something with you, and it's a concept that I think it's important for us to revisit. You know, I was working with a client, and her name is Stephanie Franklin, and she works for herself, but her business is called Simply Local Leads, and she helps entrepreneurs and service-based organizations create an internet marketing strategy to guide more people to their site and gain more clients to help them grow their business. If you're interested in her and the work that she does, I'm going to place her website right here. But she's a client of mine, and we were talking about how sometimes when we start to grow and when we start to change, when we start to move into sort of new areas and we're building new skills, we tend to feel a sense of resistance going on inside of us. Has that ever happened to you? I'm sure it has. Well, think of it this way. It really falls in line with something that's really in basic psychology, Psychology 101, and it's the 4 levels of learning. Now, a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we tend to go out and we have to learn tons and tons and tons of things, right? Technology, communication skills, sales skills, maybe even public speaking skills, and it's uncomfortable to move into some of those new skills because the 4 levels of learning will show you exactly where you get uncomfortable, why you get uncomfortable, and why it's important to recognize when you do get uncomfortable so you can reframe it. I'm going to give you the 4 levels of learning, and then we're going to talk about them a little bit more in depth. So, for example, think about the first time you were learning how to drive, especially if you're learning how to drive using a stick shift. So, I learned how to drive using a stick shift. And I remember I was my parents' blue minivan, and it was a stick shift, and I got in and I was really afraid, right? I wasn't sure of how to drive, so I just sat in the seat, and the engine wasn't even on, and I just kind of got familiar with my surroundings. And at that point in time, I was at the first level of learning, which is an unconscious unskilled or unconscious incompetence. Basically, you don't know, and you don't know you don't know. So what that means is you haven't attempted this new skill, so you don't have any data or feedback to tell you whether you're good at it or not. So the minute I push in the clutch, I turn on the key, and I remember my dad telling me that I had to make sure that the gas was being pressed in equivalent to the amount of what I was letting go of the clutch, if that makes sense. So I had that in my mind, and as I attempted to do that, I basically had them both right in the middle. So if you can imagine, the engine's revving, and the clutch is going off, or the clutch is halfway in. So, I'm sort of in this kind of sputter mode, and eventually I freak out and the engine dies and we stall. And so I end up running in my room. I felt like a failure, but I did think about it. I thought, well, what did I miss? And at that point in time, I was consciously unskilled, which is the second level of learning. So the first level is unconsciously unskilled. The second level is consciously unskilled. I had an awareness that I wasn't good at this activity. I had awareness that I sucked at this activity called driving. And so the next day I went out and tried it again, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try something a little bit different. So I pressed on the gas, I let go of the clutch even more, and even though I accelerated forward fast, I still got to the point where I made more movement. And you know the rest of the story. The more we practice, the better we get, the better we get, the better we get. And so I got to a point that day, because I had practiced so much that day, where I was consciously skilled. I had become aware that I was getting better, that I was improving in this skill or activity. And finally, the last level is unconsciously unskilled, or unconsciously skilled, where it's not something you have to think about anymore. It's just something that you do. It's like walking, it's like talking, it's like eating, right? It's not something you have to think about. You've done it so many different times that the part of your mind that controls all your automatic, systematic behaviors has taken over. And so you're unconsciously skilled. And now you can even text message while driving. I see some women putting on makeup while they're driving, which I don't recommend. And some people will do all kinds of crazy things while they drive because their unconscious mind is driving the car while they're multitasking and doing other things, which I never do. I never do that stuff. I don't know about you, but I never do that stuff. And so those are the 4 levels of learning. So quickly, unconsciously unskilled is when you don't know, and you don't know you don't know. And then you jump into the skill or activity, and then you become consciously unskilled. You're aware that you're no good at this activity. The third level is consciously skilled, where you have an awareness that you're getting better. And the fourth level, finally, is that you're unconsciously skilled, that you've gotten to a point, it's not something you have to think about anymore, you just do it. It's like talking. At one point, Dinka Wawa, meant you wanted a drink of water, but you continue to fine-tune your linguistic process, and now you're able to speak clearly. So how does this relate into being an entrepreneur and growing your business? Well, if you're interested in growing your business, or I should say if you're committed to growing your business, you know that you've got to consistently and continuously be learning new systems, be learning new technology, be learning new communication skills, sales skills, internet, all of it. We got to continuously learn if we want to continue to grow. And so where do you think, I'm just curious, where do you think most people get stuck or quit as a result of? Well, you're probably right. It's the consciously unskilled. Once we become aware that we're not good at something, our automatic programming starts kicking in, like, oh, I'm no good at this, or oh, I'm a failure, or oh, I look stupid. And we have all kinds of tapes going off that really aren't even ours, but we've adopted them as belief systems and patterns of thinking along the way. But the truth is, it's like building a muscle. I don't know if you've mastered the skill of going to the gym once and being fit for life. I definitely haven't. But when you go to the gym, you have to go consistently if you want to be in shape. If you want to be healthy, you have to eat foods that are nurturing for your body consistently. It's not what you do every now and again that makes the difference. It's consistency. And anytime you're learning new skills or activities, you've got to go through these 4 learning steps. And so as Stephanie and I were sitting there chatting, we started to come to this awareness of, okay, this is something that maybe we should just own and harness and really embrace are these 4 levels of learning. Instead of getting to a consciously unskilled place and then beating ourselves up over it. What if we just took that resistance, that uncomfortableness that shows up and just said, okay, I'm just not as skilled as I would like to be in this area. So I'm going to continue doing it until I get skilled. And it's like working out. The more you do it, the better you get, and the better you get in shape. So what areas, I'm curious, what areas in your business are you avoiding because you're afraid of feeling that uncomfortableness, that consciously unskilled level? Because once you start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is what being an entrepreneur is all about, then the uncomfortable becomes comfortable. So I hope this helps, and I really hope that you take a moment and take a look at any areas in your business where you're not allowing yourself to get a little uncomfortable. Because those are the areas that maybe you don't have enough practice in. Most people in our society have become accustomed to the idea of instant gratification. There's fast food, there's text message, there's email, there's pharmaceutical drugs, there's 2-minute rice, there's 8-minute abs, there's freaking 30-second creams all over the place. We're inundated with instant gratification, and we create this societal conditioning pattern that says fast is good, fast is good. Well, fast is good in some areas, but fast isn't good when it comes to learning new skills and activities. We've got to give ourselves some time to learn these technologies, to learn these new systems, to learn the ability to influence other people, the ability to tell stories, whatever it is. We've got to give ourselves some room to make some mistakes. And as far as I'm concerned, mistakes are my best friend. I'm a big fan of the ready, fire, aim philosophy that I learned with Peak Potentials. And it just says, get ready as you can, take action, and then correct course along the way. And allow yourself to make mistakes. So I hope this is helpful for you. And specifically, after you watch this video, I hope that you'll look at an area in your business that you're avoiding, whether that be something on the internet, whether it be social media, whether it be learning how to influence other people to work with you. Whatever that area is that you're avoiding, I want to encourage you to take a look at it from this frame of the 4 levels of learning. Find out where you stand on those 4 levels of learning and increase your ability in whatever that area is. When you apply those 4 levels of learning to whatever skill or activity that you're applying, you take the judgment out of it and you say, okay, this is where I am with this skill or activity. If I want to continue moving up this scale and getting better, then I've just got to continue to practice. That's it. So it's not brain science, but it's a good reminder, and I hope that really helps you out. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me in any way. And for more information or to join my newsletter, my Unleashing Your Badass newsletter, you can go to georgeiracarroll.com. Take good care, God bless, and have a blast screwing up.